Gaffer, obviously 4-2 defeat to Northampton at the weekend. What are some lessons learned there?
I said I'm not going to read too much into it. It was what it was. There was always going to be a stage where we just dropped from our levels a little bit because of the stage of the season we get to. You know, it's really frustrating. I've been to a couple of games in the last 2 or 3 days and watched teams that are fighting for promotion. You only have to look at the results the other night where Mansfield win, Sutton win and Swindon win. The teams that are fighting for stuff generally do well at this stage of the season. So yeah, I'm not going to read too much into it. The lads have been absolutely terrific. We've given them a few more days off this week. It's managed myself and the staff to go out and watch different teams, different players. So listen, it was disappointing to lose, but I think our response in the second half was excellent, and we'll learn from that complacency in the first half.
We spoke about when you come in about style of play and working on the training ground. Obviously, approaching the end of the season now, have you seen some improvements in that regard?
Well, I think we have a clear identity out of possession, and I think a lot of the stuff that we want to do, we've seen it in the games. I think more or less every game, bar the Swindon game where we had 10 men, we've dominated the ball, we've had more possession. Maybe the first half against Rochdale. So I think there's a clear identity there. Is it where we want it? No, absolutely not. But listen, we've come in. Let's rewind 6-7 weeks ago and said you're in this position. Listen, we would have snatched your hand off. Not only to be safe, not only to be comfortably safe with probably 6 or 7 games left, but also to give people belief going into the summer that we can achieve something next year as well.
Having one eye on that summer, are you expecting a busy one in terms of recruitment and player turnover?
No, again, we've obviously got Martin's will be busy this week, and we've got Nigel who's coming over for the game this Saturday. So we need conversations in the next 2 or 3 days. Ideally, I would like to go away with the four maybe 5 contract offers that we want to keep, because then I think once we do that, then we can actually take a breath, and we don't need to rush into anything. We've got a decent enough size squad as it is. And then if we can add 3 or 4 in the summer, then great. But we can dictate to them what we want and how much we want to pay, because our squad is in good shape. What you tend to find is the clubs that need 12, 14 players, as soon as they've finished, you want to try and get 3 or 4 done. You can rush into them, and by the time the end of the window comes, better options might have popped up than the 3 or 4 that they signed early on. So players are contracted to the 1st of June. A lot of players are contracted to the 1st of July in terms of the extra month payment. So we won't be in a rush. What we need to do is make sure that we get 3 or 4 players in with the quality that's needed to take us forward.
I'm sure it seems a long way off at the moment, but for you, how important is a good pre-season to kind of mould your squad in the way you want it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the most important thing. I had a pre-season at Doncaster last year where one game we had 17 trialists away at Bradford. We had 4 or 5 bouts of COVID where there was 10 or 12 players missing at every time. It was a shambles, to be honest. But obviously with them relaxations of COVID, and we don't expect them disruptions. And again, the size of number of contracted players that we've already got, we're in really good shape. So I'm looking forward to it.
Back to the present day, and obviously going into this weekend, we'll be without Shad Oji, and I guess a chance for someone else to step in.
No, I mean, Shad, again, that's another lesson that we've learned. The last 2 games, you've had 2 men sent off from things that you're going to get sendings off, you're going to get tackles, but these are 2 things that could have been highly preventable. So them 2 will learn from that. Shad will obviously miss a couple of games. The biggest frustration for me is he'll miss the first game of next season, but it's a lesson he needs to learn. And listen, if we start the season next year really well, it might not just be 1 game it doesn't get back in, it might be 6 or 7. So he'll pay the consequences, and hopefully he'll learn from it.
How are we looking in the rest of the squad?
No, Tom James has trained today. Tom has trained excellent. We all know his technical ability and how good he is. So probably too early for Crawley. We might give him obviously what he's done well getting back in his rehab. So I think he deserves that carrot, and we'll probably give him some minutes against Tranmere. Other than that, everybody else is fit. Obviously Tomo's still out, but everybody else is fit.
Mm-hmm. Obviously Crawley away this weekend aside, probably just 3 or 4 points ahead of us in the table. Maybe similar to us, not too much to play for. So what are you expecting from the game?
No, I mean, he went to the Sutton the other night and lost 3-0. But again, it's this time of the season where I'll go back to it kills you not playing for anything. The amount of intensity that we've put in the first 10-11 games to now get to a stage where we're not playing for anything is so difficult to carry that intensity and that purpose on. But we need to stay professional. Again, we'll have paying supporters who travel to Crawley to watch us. So we just need to respect them. We need to put on a best performance. I do want us to play with a freedom and play the style of football that we want to play. We didn't do that. We never earned the right against Northampton. So I wanted to enjoy the last couple of games, get more of our patterns out, because I think out of possession we're pretty good. I still think out of possession was decent against Northampton. I was thinking possession was a little bit off it. So, try and get back to the standards that we have been set.